If you need to repeat an object over and over in a circular radial pattern, and do it evenly and precisely, there's a really simple way to do this in Illustrator, but it's always something I forget how to do. So I have to go in and practice. So you might need to rewatch this video if you forget. So I have this really cool medical symbol logo that one of my students created, and I just used it to create this kind of interesting snowflake looking mandala. And the way I did that is I have the object here. And actually, I'm going to flip the object. So I'm going to transform it and I'm going to reflect it so that it's vertical and, I'm sorry, horizontal. I want it upside down. So I could have just rotated it too, but I wanted it to be perfectly positioned. I'm going to make that a little smaller, hold shift and scale it. And then what I'm going to do is whatever size circle you want the object to repeat around, you have to kind of set that first. So I'm going to take the ellipse tool and I'm going to hold shift and make it perfectly circular, so it doesn't get distorted at all. And then it doesn't matter what the color is because I'm going to get rid of it later. But what I need to do is grab each object, the circle and the object that I am going to be rotating. And what I'm going to do is go into the align area. So I need to align it. If I don't switch this, it's going to align it to the page or to the artboard. So what I need to do is go to align to key object or align to, I'm sorry, I have both selected. So it's going to align to selection. That's what I want. I don't want it to align to the artboard or to key object. So it automatically did that for me. So I'm going to align it horizontally. And that should match up the midpoint of this and the midpoint of the circle. So you can see when I hover over the midpoint of the circle, it says center. Every once in a while, you might have a weird object that's not symmetrical that you might have to align yourself a bit and kind of move around. I do want to pay attention to how far apart this is from the circle too, because there is going to be a gap here. Like I could, if I wanted to, just move my arrow tool down if I want it to be a little closer, or if I was actually like using the circle in my design, I might want it to overlap or something. So I am going to take this and I'm going to select again. I aligned it and then I'm going to go over it again. And there's something called a rotation tool here. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hover over the center point of the circle and press Alt. So I have to have them both selected. I went to the rotation tool, hovered over the center point of the circle, held down Alt and clicked. And then I get this option here. So what I have to do is tell this number, like how many times I want to repeat this object. So I have to do it in a number that's divisible by 360, which is 360 degrees in a circle. So if you're confused by this, 36 is a tenth of 100 or 360. So I could easily just put in 36 and see how that looks. But if it's not working out, it's because you need to take 360 and like maybe divide it by 6 or divide it by 10 or divide it by 2, so use a number that's divisible in that. So I'm going to click, it's on preview. I'm going to click copy. So when I do that, it made a copy. And then I'm just going to press Control D. Usually it's Control C, but for this it's Control D. And it should, whoops, paste it over and over and over. I'm just Control D'ing around and around until it is complete. Now, in the end, I have this really cool mandala that I'll probably want to like group together. Also, I want to point out, this one's not grouped. I want to point out too that when you copy it and paste that over and over, it does copy and paste the center circle 10 times as well. So I might have to like delete delete this 10 times. If it feels like it's not deleting and you want it gone, it's because there's 10 of them. So from here, I have this really cool mandala that I would just drag over top of and group together, of course. Control G. And now it's kind of its own little object. I could also take this, copy it and paste it, and do a mandala within a mandala. There's a lot of cool options once you use that radial feature.